Hello, Maui and Trizzy here. For this trip to Scotland, it'll be just me, Trizzy, going on my first solo international trip ever. Do I wish Maui was with me to witness this enchanting medieval capital city of Edinburgh and the dazzling nature of the Scottish Highlands? Of course! So you can bet that we'll return together to experience all the Harry Potter inspired wizardry around Scotland. But let's journey on over to Scotland for 3 nights. I used London as my base to experience a 4-hour train ride over to Scotland.
On my way to Scotland now, it's like 5:30. Let's go.
My arrival to King's Cross Station was 45 minutes prior to my early morning 6 a.m. departure. For Harry Potter fans, this is the London train station you'll want to visit. The iconic platform 9 3/4 is available to be seen instead of invisible, so visitors are welcome to create their own imagination of visiting Hogwarts. There's usually a trolley prop, but because the supplementary gift shop wasn't open, no trolley was displayed. From London's King's Cross Station to Scotland's Edinburgh Waverley Station, I rode the LNER, London North Eastern Railway. At the station, I picked up my ticket at a kiosk, then watched the train's departure schedule update as I waited to board.
So now I'm finding my seats. Letter G, seat 26, platform 6, off to Edinburgh.
Man, I wanted to push it. Push for fun. When it was time, my first impressions of the train was that it was so clean, spacious, and comfortable. Along the 4-hour ride, I grabbed breakfast at the train's cafe and did some work to pass the time. The ride didn't feel long with the unfamiliar scenery of the United Kingdom's countryside. For me, it was fascinating to see. There were a few stops before arriving at the Edinburgh Waverley Station.
So this is the way out towards Yotel Edinburgh. I'm staying for the next few nights.
The downpour rain was not letting up, but I was equipped with an umbrella, knowing that the middle of March can call for unpredictable weather in Europe. My jaw dropped and eyes popped out of my sockets as I exited the station, seeing the first glimpse of the castle-like buildings in the city. I had just gone back in time. Though the rain showed no mercy, I kept marveling at everything every step of the way to my hotel. Also, the rain didn't stop this trumpet player. My hotel was the Yotel Edinburgh, a 20-minute walk from the train station. It has a self-check-in kiosk that was seamless and put my long rainy transit day at ease.
Room tour time!
My room was everything I needed for the price of $111 USD per night with taxes and fees. Modern, clean, spacious, and comfortable. especially since the bed can adjust my upright position. There is a wall panel to adjust lighting in the room too. The hotel amenities included a gym that provided the typical cardio equipment and dumbbells. Alright, so I just settled into the Hotel Yotel. The plan is that I'm gonna walk 10 minutes to go find this bomb Italian place that serves really good pizza. So I'm gonna walk through the rain, and hopefully it's worth it walking through the rain, but we'll see. Let's go. I didn't mind the rain, as I felt like I was in a movie with the unique architecture of Edinburgh. Alleys were actually pathways with stairs leading to the next block up, which was my route to the highly rated pizza place Civerinos in Hunter Square. It's only right that I order a pizza called the Civerinos. Their signature dish that had pepperoni, Sicilian fennel sausage, rosemary, garlic oil, and topped with burrata. The pizza sauce, sugo, is a specific type of tomato, so with all these ingredients mixed on this already delicious comfort food, made the rainy walk all worth it. The weather remained dark, gloomy, and wet after lunch. This provided a mysterious feel walking around the city as I made my way to the Scottish National Gallery, a national collection of European and Scottish artwork that's free to visit. I was able to roam around for about an hour through the many rooms and levels before it closed at 5 p.m. I ended the day early as today's transit day and battle with the rain took a toll on me. Time to go to sleep. I had to get a good night's sleep for the long full day tour I have the next day. The tour I booked on my first full day in Edinburgh was the Loch Ness and Highland day tour. I walked to the Edinburgh bus station where my 7:45 a.m. meeting point was. The shuttle we would be riding in during our long 12-hour tour day was extremely comfortable and probably the best shuttle I've rode for a tour. Rabbi's was the name of the tour company I booked with. It was a hefty price of about $80 USD per person, but they specialize in smaller group tours. Ours was about 16 people, so it was worth paying extra and experiencing Scotland in a less crowded environment. The ride to our first stop was pure beauty from the unique city scenery, lengthy bridges, and vast rural land with wild animals. Because our tour did not include meals or snacks, the first stop was to Taste Perthshire. It's a gift shop with the market to grab some food, drinks, and any essentials you may need for the day. The best part of this place was the accessibility to view sheep and Scotland's native Highland cows. The cows are adorable with their horns and shaggy fur, making them look like a pop star in some ways. Their fur helps keep them warm and dry during all seasons. And apparently in Scotland, you can experience all 4 seasons in one day. As we entered the Highlands, a drastic change of scenery happened where the ground and mountains were covered in snow. It was beautiful, and luckily there was no active snowfall. Fort Augustus was our longest stop that we spent off the shuttle. This place is known as the gateway to Loch Ness, which loch translates to lake. Here is where the myth of the Loch Ness monster, known as Nessie, occupies. Imagine a sea creature with a long neck like a brontosaurus.
We made it to the Loch Ness. I'm about to take a cruise. This is the ticket that I received from our tour guide to hop onto that boat right there.
At the time, my tour did not include a cruise on the lake, so I paid an additional $20 USD to hop on the cruise Loch Ness boat to try and hunt for Nessie. The sun was out on a chilly day, helping the views of the trees and mountains surrounding the freshwater lake look incredible. For a 50-minute cruise, we learned about the use of the sonar system to detect Nessie's activity in Scotland's second deepest lake.
Down the right-hand side of the screen, you get a red line. So that red line is the bottom directly below us now, down here, 114 meters.
We were able to spot Nessie at one point. Just kidding, the closest we got was this window decal. Although it was unsuccessful, learning about Loch Ness being a huge part of the Scottish Highlands history was valuable. When the cruise was over, I had time to roam around the quaint town of Fort Augustus. Shops, restaurants, hotels that look like castles, and the canal lochs delighted me as I soaked in these sights. We continued on with the tour and more spectacular views of the Highlands nature, now with a glow from the setting sun. We stopped at a bronze statue that commemorates the soldiers that fought and died in World War II. In the background was the snow-capped Ben Nevis Mountains. To get back into more snow, our next stop was a peaceful mountain view of the three Sisters of Glencoe. Our last stop before driving back to town was to the Glencoe Mountain Resort, where we used it to grab more snacks or as a bathroom break. Throughout this tour, we drove past and saw from afar what Trossachs National Park and Cairngorm National Park offers. It's just a bummer that I didn't have time to visit these places on my own and do at least one hike. So whenever I return to Scotland with Maui, we'll consider renting a car or a camper van for a few days to make our way around these parks and experience the Highlands for more than 12 hours.
7 in the morning, heading to the bus stop now, on my way to the Forth Road Bridge to run that thing.
The next morning called for a personalized on-foot tour away from the city, so I woke up early to take the bus 30 minutes to the Forth Road Bridge so I could run along the 2.5-kilometer thoroughfare and visit the coastal village of North Queensferry. I wouldn't want to spend my morning any other way viewing the unforgettable morning cast along the water on the bridge. I was running on the middle bridge, sandwiched between the Queensferry Bridge and the UNESCO World Heritage Site Forth Bridge, which only allows for train crossings, so it shouldn't be confused with the Forth Road Bridge. The coastal village of North Queensferry holds historical charm with its cobblestone ground, narrow streets, and traditional homes. This is where people would start their pilgrimage to St. Andrew's Cathedral in Fife. The harbor was quiet and the streets were empty. I was alone with my thoughts and gratitude for my first solo international trip. Back in Edinburgh, I filled up with the cardamom bun to hold me up for more self-guided tour around the city. From my hotel, I trotted 30 minutes over to Calton Hill, a mount that was formed by volcanic activity hundreds of millions of years ago. Stairs and inclines were involved with several routes to take, making it an accessible landmark to visit. This is where the National Monument of Scotland is located. This structure is incomplete due to lack of funding, but it commemorates the Scottish soldiers that died during the Napoleonic War. Several other monuments atop Calton Hill was inspired by architecture in Athens, Greece. I stopped for lunch at a Thai restaurant to game plan how I'll be visiting the giant engineering spectacle of the Kelpies, located in Helix Park. It's a steel 100 feet tall structure of 2 horses settled in the middle of a canal that runs 950 yards long. Helix Park is in Falkirk. It's about 30 miles outside of Edinburgh, and it took an hour and several trains and buses to get here in the late afternoon. Trusty Google Maps was what I used to navigate public transportation and walking directions. Helix Park on its own is a remarkable public outdoor space that I can only imagine the beauty and full functionality of it on a clear sunny day. The many walking and cycling paths offer tons of options to maximize a day at the park with towering jungle gyms, art installations, boardwalks, a canal, and many others. If it wasn't raining, I would be all over this wooden jungle gym. It took a while for me to reach the Kelpies because I kept getting distracted by all the structures and sceneries around the park that intrigued me. And I'm sure I didn't even encounter half of what this park offers. There's a visitor center that's open during the day, but by the time I arrived, it closed. I admired the Kelpies while the sky was still bright, but I really wanted to see it when it got dark. Colorful lights illuminated this work of art that can also be seen from the highway. The Kelpies are named after another Scotland mythical water creature, and the 2 horses represent 2 actual horses that impacted the country's economy by carrying and transporting goods. On a rainy evening after a long trek to get here, I would say that Helix Park is still worth the visit, and if it's during the drier and warmer season, then it's a must-stop. My last morning, I went to Rose Street Cafe for an authentic English breakfast plate before returning to London. And just like how my trip started, I left the beautiful Scotland with rain blessing my departure. My return train was with Lumo. I purchased it as a round trip with LNER. After 3 nights in Scotland, I can confirm that is not enough. That's what I always say about my trips. I didn't even get to visit Edinburgh Castle and a few other castles and museums around the city. But I like having a reason to return to a country that is that captivating. And although I didn't visit the castle, I indeed saw it all over town because of its colossal structure and how it sits on a cliff overlooking the city, so you can't miss it. Thanks for watching Maui and Trizzy. Please hit the subscribe and bell button for more of our adventures. Ta Palib! Thank you, Scotland, for everything!